Chapter 71 Kisame's Psychic Loophole. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Land of Water. Why? The female ninja asked the figure in front of her in pain as she stood unsteadily. Next to it were the bodies of two companions. Kisame Kisaki's shark eyes were filled with bloodshot eyes. Killing my companions is my special mission. The female ninja fell to the ground and did not blame him. She just asked in a weak tone, "Your life must be very hard." Mikagaki Kisame's pupils shrank heavily, but he still walked forward with a blank expression and stabbed the knife in. A pixel square suddenly appeared in the sky, and then a figure suddenly fell from the sky. What the hell? Natsuki used Sasuke's space teleportation skill and teleported from the Kingdom of Wind to the Kingdom of Water in an instant. Who knew the teleportation location was actually in mid-air? Fortunately, Shemu was good at it and landed on the ground with a somersault. Several corpses lay on the ground, and a blue-skinned shark face stood on the edge of the cliff. Are Konoha's pursuers so fast? Kisame Mikagaki gave Natsuki a cold look, then he jumped off the cliff. There was a noise in the forest, and a large group of people were moving this way. Natsuki looked around, then walked forward and saw that the female ninja was dead. TSK, Kisame is really smart. I remember this girl seems to have a crush on Kisame. The last words he said before he was killed shook Kisame's mind and made him remember it for the rest of his life. Damn Obito. Natsuki complained, forget it, now that I have encountered it. Natsuki raised his hands. Boom. Transformation. Natsuki changed her appearance first. The light shining in the palm of his hand was the palm sage technique he got from Kabuto Yakushi. TSK, this Kisame is really cruel, stabbing him in the heart with a knife. This female mist ninja should die without pain. The sound of walking through the forest sounded, and a large number of Konoha ninjas sprang out of the forest. The leader is Konoha torture expert, Marino Ihiki, and the others are 6 famous Konoha elites. Who are you? Natsuki used the transformation technique and transformed into a passerby, but he was wearing Konoha's vest. Natsuki pressed the female mist ninja's chest with palm senjutsu with one hand, and took out the Konoha forehead protector from her bag and flashed it. One of our own. Marino Ihiki could tell at a glance that the other party had used a transformation technique, and even took out a new forehead protector, but the other party does know Konoha's medical ninjutsu and palm senjutsu. This made Marino Ihiki a little confused. What are you doing? That the elites of Konoha couldn't help but say that it was natural to see in their eyes that this female mist ninja had just been killed. However, Xiaomu ignored them and just continued to activate the palm immortal technique. Palm senjutsu is indeed a magical skill for trauma. In just a few seconds, the wound on the female mist ninja's heart has healed. Hey! This mist ninja is already dead, why are you still wasting chakra? Natsuki glanced at them. Country bumpkin, his wrist shook, and he hit the female mist ninja in the chest. The female mist ninja's body bounced up after being hit. At this moment, Xiaomu fired 2 more palms. Dong dong. The sound of heartbeat. Cough. Cough. Ha. The female mist ninja sat up suddenly, coughing and exhaling. She was still a little stunned. Wasn't she killed by Brother Gonchar? Marino Ihiki and the other 6 Konoha ninjas were stunned. Can they be saved from death? Stop looking, you are my prisoner now, just follow me. The female Kirinin looked around and saw no Kisame Kisaki, but a bunch of Konoha ninjas surrounding her. She looked at the person next to her. She had a passerby's face and a Konoha forehead protector on the ground. Really, so I was captured. She lowered her head in resignation. Marino Ihiki frowned. This is our mission goal. Natsuki scratched his head in distress. These few were all Konoha elites, and he didn't want to reveal his identity yet. No solution anymore. Natsuki's tone changed, and the people in Konoha who were on guard did not even have time to assume a fighting posture. Without Natsuki's seal, the space behind the Konoha ninja suddenly filled with yellow sand. The yellow sand covered the sky and the sun, and the entire sky became dark. All the yellow sand quickly covered it like a huge quilt, desert layer burial seal. With a rumble, countless yellow sands condensed into blocks, and 7 Konoha elites were firmly locked inside. countless yellow sand was flying all over the sky, making it impossible to see clearly what was around. Marino Ihiki was shocked. Isn't this a technique from Sunagakure village? How come? A technique of this level? Not even a seal. Are you going to die here today? Morinoi Hikiki and the others were frightened inside. They endured the impact of the wild sand and were completely unable to move. The gravel quickly covered everyone's bodies, and several people could not even move a finger. The gravel quickly immobilized everyone's limbs and sealed their faces. Xia Mu looked at several people wrapped tightly, all like statues. Is this it? Sand sculpture. The products produced by the system are of high quality and can be activated directly regardless of the spell's environment. There is no need for seal formation or spell casting conditions. Wouldn't it be too fake to leave directly? Natsuki controlled the technique, exposing many holes in the gravel. Natsuki stepped forward and dug into each Konoha's pockets, then he took out a few scrolls from Marino Ihiki. He didn't have time to read the contents and put them all in his pocket. Everyone in Konoha felt despair. The other party was already searching them. What's the next step? Everyone has even thought about their last words. A long time, the yellow sand on several people's bodies loosened and fell to the ground. The person who used palm senjutsu and the female mist ninja were gone, and there were only 2 mist ninja corpses on the ground. After several people checked each other, they found that everything on their bodies had been taken away, and their weapons were gone. Some people's pockets are cleaner than their faces, not even a kunai was left with a few people. Ibixi frowned because the information scroll on. His body was missing. The information this time was extremely confidential, and it explained in detail that the Kirigakure signal department left the village on a mission. That's why Konoha specially sent a torture expert, Ibiki, to carry out this mission. This mission was full of twists and turns, and the information was correct. On this route, they did catch up with the signal department, but people from Kirigakure kept silence. After finally chasing him to a dead end, he killed another mysterious man. One skill controlled everyone in Ibixi. Fortunately, the other party did not intend to kill anyone, but just took away the things. Ibixi pinched the yellow sand from the ground. It was really yellow sand. The climate in the Kingdom of Water is very humid, and the land here is very hard, and there is no such yellow sand at all, unless you brought it here yourself, or used ninjutsu to forcibly change the soil into yellow sand. Who on earth is he? He knows both Palm Immortal Technique and Sunagakure Village's magic, and it's a magic of this level. Strange, so strange, Ibiki couldn't even think of it. This was just a one-time ninjutsu used by Natsuki because he didn't want to reveal his identity. It's true that the Palm Immortal Technique belongs to Konoha, but Natsuki doesn't know it at all. It's all paid by the pharmacist who works for free, and this sealing technique originally belonged to Gaara, so it naturally belonged to Sunagakure Village. Captain, no survivors were found. The person next to him reported after looking around. Everyone had no supplies or weapons and could only look at Marino Hiki. After thinking to no avail, Marino Ihiki could only reorganize the team and go back to replenish supplies. This mission is getting weirder and weirder. Chapter 72 Assassination Instructions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The bottom of the cliff, plop. Blah blah blah. Natsuki grabbed the female mist ninja and crawled out of the water. There is actually a pool under this cliff. No wonder Kisame is not dead. Natsuki looked at the wet footprints on the shore. It seemed that Kisame had already left first. Xia Mu took out the fuel, blew a fireball from his mouth, and lit a bonfire on the ground. Opening the pile of things collected, the weapons had already been thrown into the puddle. There aren't many valuable things in the ninja tool bag. When Shimu opened Ibixi's scroll, he frowned. Konoha's sealing technique. Xia Mu put his hand on it, and the sealing technique was released. After reading it, Xia Mu rolled up the scroll thoughtfully. A long time. Did you forget something? When she turned around to look, she realized that the female mist ninja was looking at her with wide eyes. Oh, sorry, I forgot to unlock the seal for you. Just when Natsuki grabbed the female mist nin and jumped down, he used the 4-image seal to seal the female mist nin. I forgot to untie it. Natsuki patted the female mist ninja's body with her palm, and the ink-colored 4 symbols technique on the female mist ninja's body retracted into Natsuki's hand. The female mist ninja can move in no time. Where are you going to take me? that the female mist ninja also saw that the person in front of her was not the same as the people in Konoha above. Natsuki, who has unlocked the transformation technique, is still dressed as in the Kingdom of Wind, with a huge grey cloak and a hat. Xiaomu took off the bamboo hat and threw it aside, revealing his original face. Although Natsuki is somewhat famous, his portraits are not everywhere. So I don't know the female mist ninja. Where to take you? It's up to you. Xiaomu touched his chin. What do you mean? Do you hate Inokaki Kisame for killing you? That the female mist ninja didn't know what she was thinking of, and her expression changed. She hugged her legs and sat by the campfire, her eyes a little lost. For ninjas like us, obedience is our duty. If you don't save me, I will die as well. What's there to blame? TSK, TSK. Xiaomu smacked his lips with interest. Sometimes the fate between two people is really wonderful. This Inari Kakisame would actually meet such a girl. I'm very optimistic about Kisame Inokasaki. I think he's a talent and I want to take him for my own use. Can you help me convince him? Natsuki admires Kisame Kasaki very much. Kisame has been working hard to pursue peace and beauty throughout his life. In the end, in order to protect the intelligence, he summoned a shark to eat him. If possible, Natsuki hopes to change everything. The female mist ninja was a little surprised. She pointed at herself in disbelief. Me? Natsuki knew what was surprising her. He explained to her, whether you believe it or not, if I didn't save you, your death will be remembered by Inokasaki Kisame for the rest of his life. The female mist ninja's eyes widened, a little surprised, and then her face turned red. She covered her face in a panic. How is that possible? Besides, Brother Mikagaki will never betray Kirigakure. Hey, sister, are you okay? Didn't Kisame stab you? Why do you still look so full of love for Inokasaki Kisame? I'm still doing Kaki-chan. Will I have to switch to Kisame-chan next time? In Xiaomu's opinion, this kind of fate is like Yulao welding two people to death with steel bars. Natsuki said helplessly, you don't have to worry about this. Your fourth-generation Mizukage has been controlled by the enemy using illusions. Kirigakure is finished. What? The female mist ninja, who had looked shy just now, stood up in shock when she heard the news. Natsuki casually threw the scroll he had just read to the female mist ninja. The female mist ninja opened it and took a look. This is the road map of our signal department. The female mist ninja was surprised. They were performing a secret mission. Before leaving the Kingdom of Water, the mission was actually leaked. Natsuki shrugged. The person who sent your information was the controlled Mizukage. Nvu endured a great blow. What about the tyranny of the Mizukage these past few years? Xiaomu nodded. Yes, it was the person who controlled him who did it. Really? The female mist ninja spoke with trembling. Xiaomu chuckled. Is there any benefit if I lie to you? The female mist ninja was also an elite member of the signal department after all, and she began to think. Back then, the fourth-generation Mizukage seemed to have suddenly changed into a different person overnight. He massacred the blood successor family and the management of the village was also very strict. All the fog ninja elites fled to death. The previously famous demon Zabuza also defected not long ago. It seems that 9 times out of 10 it is true. The female mist ninja suddenly felt a little disheartened. Her relatives and friends had all died tragically in the tyranny of the blood mist in the past 2 years, but I didn't expect that it was all just a scam. What's your name? The female mist ninja raised her head and glanced at Natsuki, feeling very depressed. Kyoko, Kurita Kyoko. Do you have any relatives? Xiaomu asked casually. Kyoko shook her head. Kirigakure was originally a shinobi village full of talents, but because of Obito's actions, countless elites were lost. That's great. Come and help me convince Kisame. When the time comes, you will come to work for me together. You are all from the same hometown and can take care of each other. Xiaomu felt very much like a coal boss who deceived others into doing illegal work. I originally planned to test the sand pad, but now I have brought an oil bottle with me, waiting for the opportunity in the future. Inokasaki Kisame walked toward the village in confusion. Protect your companions in the village and perform tasks, but you need to kill your companions before they are captured. Kisame lived a very difficult life. playing the role of protector and executioner at the same time, and his entire worldview was distorted, and Kyoko Kurita, whom she only met for a short time, said before she died, "Your life must have been very hard." This directly caused Inukasaki Kisame's entire state of mind to collapse. In this false ninja world, the so-called excellent ninjas are just murderers who betray their companions. He risked his life for the sake of the village, but couldn't find his own position. Kisame Kisaki was wandering alone, and before he could return to his life, he was unexpectedly intercepted. "You are the subordinate of the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost." The fourth Mizukage Gotakibana Yagura appears on the path that Kisame must pass. "Mizukage-sama, I am Inagaki Kisame." Kisame Kisaki bowed. After Goji Yagura was assassinated a few years ago, he has rarely been seen and is very strict with his subordinates, but I didn't expect to meet you here today. Your boss, Zigwashin Pufferfish, was secretly colluding with foreign enemies and sold the information to the enemy country. What? Kisame Kisaki was shocked. The person who asked me to kill my companions to prevent leaks is now betraying the information to the enemy, Goji Yagura said with an indifferent expression. The Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish Ghost City is very deep, and you are the only one who has the chance to get close to him. Find the opportunity and kill him. Kisame Kisaki agreed numbly. As you command, Mizukage-sama. After Goji Yagura gave the order, he left indifferently. Inakasaki Kisame stood there stunned for a long time, then raised his head and continued walking towards the village. Chapter 73 Trading. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kirigakure Village. Kurita Kyoko finished her report under Terumi Mei and put the scroll in her hand up. After looking at it, Terumi Mei's face turned livid. After all, no one can accept the fact that the shadow of their own village is controlled by illusion. Invite Mr. Natsuki in. Mei Terumi rubbed her eyebrows. No wonder the Mizukage had not appeared in public in recent years, especially where Ao was around. Shimu pushed open the door and entered. He came to Kirigakure this time because he wanted to bring back a few talented people. As for whether Kirigakure is beaten into a pig's head or a dog's head, it has nothing to do with Natsuki, so he directly put Kurita Kyoko and Terumi Mei on the line. After all, Terumi Mei will come to power in a few years and is now a very powerful Kirigakure faction. I have admired Mr. Natsuki's name for a long time. With talents like you in Uchiha, it will be just around the corner to regain its glory. Mei Terumi was very polite when she spoke. After all, Natsuki had just provided them with evidence that the Mizukage collaborated with the enemy. Moreover, this evidence was found from the ninjas of Konoha, which is very interesting. Natsuki looked at Terumi Mei, who was tall and looked like a mature woman. A little incomprehensible. Are everyone in Kirigakure blind? She is so beautiful and no one is chasing her, but Natsuki didn't have any ideas about Mei. He was here to talk things over. You're welcome. Miss Terumi Mei is also outstanding. With this incident confirmed, I think the next Mizukage position must be you. Natsuki and Terumi Mei exchanged polite greetings before getting down to business. I wonder how Mr. Natsuki plans to cooperate with us. Terumi Mei asked. If you want to sit on the Mizukage seat legitimately, you must reveal the fact that Yagura was manipulated by Genjutsu in public. Now in the village, no one can guarantee that the Mizukage can be suppressed, right? Not only is there no way to suppress it, the current Kirigakure village lacks high-end combat power, and most of the well-known bloodline-limited families have been killed by Obito. Terumi Mei has not grown up enough to challenge the fourth generation alone. Mizukage also has a unique skill, the water mirror technique. The water mirror technique can create a mirror made of water. A person who looks exactly like the enemy will appear in the mirror, and can use the same ninjutsu as the opponent with the same power. Therefore, Gotakibana Yagura, as a Jinchuriki, can basically walk sideways in Kirigakure. This is why Terumi Mei had doubts before and couldn't take action. The most fundamental reason is that she can't beat him. Kirigakure can't stand the tossing anymore, and it's not cost-effective to spend more lives to fill it. Terumi Mei looked at Natsuki with inquiring eyes, and Natsuki smiled slightly. Since I can get this evidence, I am confident that I can suppress the fourth Mizukage. Terumi Mei nodded. She recognized the strength of the Manjikyu Sharingan. Mr. Natsuki, did you come all the way here just to help me get to the top? Terumi Mei leaned lazily on the chair behind her. showing off her feminine charm. Natsuki turned a blind eye and waved his hand, just call me Natsuki. You must also know the relationship between Uchiha and Konoha. Tsurumi Mei nodded. She knew the current relationship between Uchiha and Konoha. Both parties only maintain a superficial relationship, and Uchiha basically does not participate in any other activities in Konoha except for doing some tasks for Konoha. It's basically the same as being affiliated with an alien ninja, and the reason has been spread throughout the entire ninja world before. Tsurumi Mei smiled. Whatever Mr. Natsuki wants, you might as well just say it. Xiaomu held out 2 fingers. When it's done, I want 2 people, and I need to find 2 more people for me. Oh. I wonder which 2 people deserve to be remembered by a person like you. Natsuki nodded and pointed at Kurita Kyoko, this, and dried persimmon Kisame. Tsurumi Mei glanced at Kurita Kyoko and gave Natsuki a meaningful look, then he muttered slightly, Kurita Kyoko and Mikigaki Kisame are both members of the Watermelon Mountain Fugu Demon. He won't let them go so easily. Xiaomu spread his hands. It doesn't matter, the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish ghost is already dying, do I still care about his feelings? Tsurumi Mei frowned. What do you mean? Xiaomu chuckled lightly. This time the Watermelon Mountain Pufferfish ghost ruined his good deeds. Do you think the Pufferfish ghost will be killed? Are you sure? Tsurumi Mei narrowed her eyes. The Watermelon Mountain Blowfish Demon is considered a veteran in Kirigakure, and he controls the signal department and another assassination unit. Ever since Goju Yagura was controlled by illusion, the pufferfish ghost has been living in seclusion every day, rarely appears in public. It can be regarded as one of the mainstays still remaining in Kirigakure. However, the pufferfish ghost does not support Tsurumi Mei's rise to power, so for Tsurumi Mei, the existence of the pufferfish ghost in Watermelon Mountain is an obstacle to her. Anyway, Kirigakure is already in this state of ruin. Tsurumi Mei is ready to break and then stand. That old antique like the Watermelon Mountain pufferfish ghost is an obstacle that must be eradicated. Of course I'm confident. As long as you keep an eye on Kisame, the Watermelon Mountain Fugu Demon will definitely die. That's when you'll have the best chance to attack Goju Yagura. Tsurumi Mei thought for a while, but after all, they were just 2 rebellious ninjas. Okay. I agree. Kisame, you bastard. Cough. The Watermelon Mountain pufferfish ghost spat out a mouthful of blood again. Unexpectedly, his most trusted subordinate unexpectedly attacked him, another knife stabbed him, and the Watermelon Mountain pufferfish ghost felt that all his strength had been drained away. Then he fell down heavily. Kisame squatted down and untied the same shark muscle behind the Watermelon Mountain Blowfish ghost. This is his trophy. Kisame pushed the body with his foot and turned to leave. Came a voice. Thank you for your hard work, Kisame. Kisame clenched his muscles while turning around. I concluded that he would definitely relax his vigilance towards your subordinates, as expected. This guy colludes with the enemy. From now on, you are the master of Samahata. And you will be my subordinate from now on. Kisame saw that Mizukage appeared and put down the hand holding Samahata, but he didn't look happy. A fake smile appeared on his face. I will eventually be eradicated by you, the 4th Mizukage-sama. Kisame's mission has always been to kill his companions or his boss, so even if the opponent is the 4th Mizukage, Kisame still has no sense of belonging. Precisely because you have completed countless dirty tasks and carried out many betrayal tasks for the sake of the country and the village, people like you are more trustworthy. Mizukage said with a dull expression. Because you know the world is full of hypocrisy. Kisame's expression didn't change much. I understood this kind of thing when I first killed my companions. I am a Kirigakure ninja, but I kill Kirigakure's ninjas, so who am I? Kisame seemed to be asking Mizukage, and also seemed to be asking himself. Am I an enemy or a friend? What is my purpose? My position? Where should I go? Where can I find peace? Kisame looked at his hands. I can only deeply feel that I am just a hypocritical existence. A dark figure walked out from behind the dumb 4th Mizukage. Kisame was stunned. Low voice sounded. Then let me free you from the pain of hypocrisy. Shall I help you create a place to stay? Who are you? Kisame Mikigaki became alert instantly. and his hand grasped the handle of the large sword Samahata. First of all, starting with this country. Until now, you have acted to deal with your companions. From now on, you will act as my companion. A deep voice sounded. Kisame felt that the person opposite seemed to trust him very much, and he was a little confused. You seem to have a lot of trust in me, but I don't know who you are yet. In the darkness, he opened his blood-red Sharingan. Kisame Kisaki was shocked. This is it. The eye that shines in the dark, Kisame suddenly realized. I see, the person I identified as the fourth Mizukage is actually you. You used those Sharingan eyes to control the fourth Mizukage. As expected, this world is full of lies. But you actually have the eye power to control the fourth Mizukage, who is the three-tailed Jinchuriki. Who are you? Obito said in a low voice. Uchiha Madara. What? Kisame Kisaki was shocked. That person should be no longer alive. Obito is about to carry out the final strategy. Yes, so he lied to you. A burst of teasing laughter came from behind Kisame and Nakasaki. Chapter 74 You are just a maggot. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Kisame Mikigaki heard the sound, his thoughts were immediately interrupted and he jumped to the side very alertly. Obito frowned. Why is he here? Xiaomu Shiran came out. I'm sorry, your acting was too clumsy, so I accidentally laughed out loud. Kisame Mikigaki frowned. Are you the one that day? Natsuki raised his eyebrows and said hello to Inakasaki. Kisame, Obito said in a deep voice. What's so funny? The corner of Xiaomu's mouth turned into a sarcastic arc. You are the one who asked Inakaki Kisame to do these tasks, and you are the one who made him confused. Where did you get the nerve to say that you would help him relieve his pain? Isn't Kirigakure's tyranny in the past few years caused by you using genjutsu to control Gobi Yagura? Now you are pretending to be Uchiha Madara, and you are both fake and stupid. Obito was speechless. Although he didn't know what it meant to act and stand, the sarcasm was obvious. Natsuki's appearance was quite troublesome for Obito, but he was already preparing to play Uchiha Madara, so he could only keep calm. At this time Natsuki suddenly asked, Are you really Uchiha Madara? At this time, Obito could only bite the bullet and said, Yes, I am Madara Uchiha. I heard that Obito was still hard at this time. Xiaomu laughed wildly. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Obito was a little annoyed. What's so funny? Are you Madara Uchiha? You are Uchiha Madara. Madara has been on the battlefield all his life. When has he ever covered his face? How could Madara be a rat who hides his head and shows his tail? Your illusions are good at deceiving others, but can you deceive Uchiha? Natsuki cursed angrily. The most disgusting person in the whole world is Obito. If Obito didn't cause trouble everywhere, would he have to run around? Kisame Kisaki was silent beside him. Was that other person himself? Humph. Obito, who was speechless, snorted coldly. He stepped back and stood behind Goji Yagura. Goji Yagura waved his hand, and a mirror appeared in front of him, and Uchiha Natsuki's appearance was reflected in the mirror. Yo! Isn't this the legendary water mirror technique? Sure enough, a person who looked exactly like Xiaomu rushed out of the water mirror. Xiaomu's eyes lit up, and she really wanted to try this water mirror technique. Hand seals, art fire escape ho fireball. The water mirror man on the opposite side also used a powerful fireball. The two collided, and the ninjutsu was annihilated. It's amazing, it's really replicable. What about Susanoo? As soon as Natsuki's Sharingan opened, the Mangekyo Sharingan rotated at high speed. Susanoo. The golden Susanoo rose from the ground in an instant, and the surging chakra filled the dark basement. Obito looked gloomy. How could Uchiha Natsuki have such strong eye power? Susanoo condenses directly from the skeleton. The water mirror technique on the opposite side shook twice and then shattered. It seems that water mirror technique cannot copy Susan. Flesh and blood appeared on Susanoo's body on Natsuki's side, and the masonry on his head was broken with a roar. The moonlight shone down, and Natsuki Susanoo's body glowed with a hazy golden light. On the opposite side, Goji Yagura has completed the half-tailed beast transformation, and chakra is spreading crazily around. Obito was wearing a mask and stood. Behind him, his Sharingan slowly turning with an ominous red light. When Kotachi Yagura-tailed beast transformed, Obito couldn't completely disappear. This is in the hinterland of Kirigakure village, so we must fight quickly. Goju Yagura, who transformed into a half-tailed beast, flew up and struck Susanoo with a palm. Natsuki deliberately took the blow hard and resisted it directly with Susanoo's arm. Boom. There was a dull sound, and a huge coral appeared on Susan's arm. Natsuki's Susanoo didn't take a step back, but just shook off the coral on his arm. A slap hit Yagura, and Yagura flew backwards. There was Obito. Obito watched calmly as Yagura flew toward him, but he didn't move at all. Sure enough, Yagura flew backwards through his body. Natsuki's Susanoo drew out the sword on his body and slashed at Obito. Take action. You bastard. Aren't you going to pretend to be Uchiha Madara? Boom. There was a loud bang, a huge crack was cut into the ground, and smoke and dust were everywhere. But the blade only passed through Obito's body, and Obito was unscathed. There was a sneer on Obito's lips. You can't hurt me. Goju Yagura was covered in chakra and attacked at extremely fast speeds. Boom. 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 Under the violent roar, every powerful attack by Goju Yagura was received steadily by Natsuki. Whether it was the flying rocks or Natsuki's sweeping attack, they all penetrated Obito's body without exception. Obito continued to control Mizukichi with his Sharingan and attacked Natsuki, but he didn't know that many Kirigakure people had already assembled in the distance. Sir, don't we go forward? The person next to Terumi Mei asked. Terumi Mei squinted her eyes. It's not yet time. But Mizukichi. Terumi Mei interrupted him. That's a puppet. Not the Mizukichi. Yes. Several high-speed attacks by Mizukichi were blocked by Natsuki's Susanoo, and now Natsuki is still in high spirits. Could it be that his pupil technique reduces Susanoo's consumption? I wonder how long your Susanoo can last. There was a hint of provocation and inquiry in Obito's voice. Kirigakure hasn't even appeared yet. Terumi Mei is really calm, and Kisame was standing not far away, staring here with his shark eyes. Natsuki chuckled, and Susan pointed his weapon at Obito. Then you don't have to worry. Where's your Susanoo? Uchiha Madara without Susanoo. Uchiha Madara hiding his head and showing his tail. Without Susanoo, you're just a maggot. Although Mei Terumi had cleared the area, their fight was so fierce that Susanoo was dozens of meters tall. In the dark night, it is like a huge torch, lighting up the surrounding area as bright as day. More people from Kirigakure had already gathered around. Terumi Mei saw that so many people were coming, and he could no longer fish, so he immediately climbed up and led everyone around him. Only then did Obito realize that he had been surrounded by Kirigakure. Natsuki. Obito was shocked and angry, and his pupil power increased again. Driving the fourth-generation Mizukichi to completely transform into a tailed beast, Gotakabana Yagura quickly transformed from a human to an Isozu. Iso's body quickly grew in size, almost the same size as Natsuki's Susan, a body like an armored turtle, swinging three huge tails. Ho, ho. Even Obito used all his power to suppress Yagura, who had completely transformed into a tailed beast. Shadow. Jizu arched his whole body, wrapped the huge thick carapace on his back around his body, and rolled forward quickly like a wheel. Boom. A sound like an earthquake. Isozu used his huge size and weight to rush over in a crushing manner. Natsuki Hitomi's power increased again. Susanoo became more solid, and his body evolved from solid flesh and blood to being covered in armor. The weapon in his hand becomes more solid and huge. Natsuki's Susanoo made a sweeping sweep and collided with Iso's body. Boom. For a moment the earth shook. Chapter 75 Sky Tsongyun Style. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing the roar in the distance, Kirigakure, who was standing outside, turned pale with fear. The rocks that collapsed on the ground were like kunai flying in all directions, and the Kirigakure couldn't even get close. Is this the power of tailed beast transformation? Is this Susanoo's strength? It's actually as good as the three tails. Terumi Mei's face was also livid. Whether it was Natsuki Uchiha or the fourth Mizukichi, their strength was completely beyond her knowledge. Susanna and Isozu were wrestling at this time, and neither could suppress the other. Maggot. You are the one who controlled the Ninetales during the Ninetales rebellion in Konoha. Now you use the same trick to control the Mizukage. Do you dare to take off your mask? Natsuki's voice was very loud, and the sound echoed in layers in Kirigakure village. Mizukage-sama is being manipulated? Still the person who controlled Konoha's Ninetales back then? Is it real? Many people in Kirigakure village just heard some noise and came to check, and some people only heard someone pretending to be Uchiha Madara. Then the Mizukage of his own village was fighting an Uchiha. Now I actually heard that my own Mizukage was being manipulated. Obito was shocked. How did Natsuki know that he was responsible for the Ninetales rebellion? Natsuki took the opportunity to use his eye power to hit Isato. Wake up! Isozu was stunned, but was immediately shoved away by Susanoo. Seeing Isato paused, Obito increased his power and regained control of Isato. Call! Xiaomu's eyes hurt, and tears of blood flowed from his eyes. Xiaomu was so angry that his illusion skills were so bad that he actually spent so much effort not waking up Goji Yagura. You can't fight anymore, otherwise the fact of the eternal eye will be exposed. Your eyes are uncomfortable, right? I wonder how much power you still have. Obito's gloomy voice sounded, and seeing Natsuki's eyes shed tears of blood, Obito's tone was full of determination. He stood in the field with his arms folded, as if he had everything under control. It will be amazing. Xiaomu had a flash of inspiration and pretended to be weak, covering his eyes while panting violently. Susanoo also degenerated into a flesh and blood form. The weapons in his hands slowly dissipated. Obito snorted inwardly, as expected. Drink. Xiaomu yelled angrily with his whole body trembling. The final blow. Susanoo recovered, put on his armor, and condensed his weapons. Obito looked at Natsuki's desperate look, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Buzzing, a purple black-tailed beast jade began to condense in front of Sanweiji's mouth. Seeing that Obito was standing confidently, Xiaomu was sure, Tian Songyun style. The name of Natsuki eye technique. In an instant, Natsuki's power poured into Susanna's weapon crazily. Susan's weapon seemed to be covered with a layer of light and shadow, and the space next to it began to tremble. Natsuki slashed with his sword, but the target was Obito. There was a hint of ridicule at the corner of Obito's mouth. I have the power of a god, can you hurt me? While slashing with one sword, Obito was warning frantically in his heart. The heart palpitations surge out like a small animal encountering a natural disaster. This feeling of terror and despair only appeared when the kaleidoscope was blooming. How can it be? Obito, who followed his heart, instantly gave up controlling the Mizukage. I used as an aji. Stab, a sound like a broken mirror. There was no loud noise or any smoke. A huge ravine 50 meters deep appeared silently on the ground, like an abyss. The edges were as smooth as a mirror, as if erased with an eraser. The person pretending to be Uchiha Madara completely disappeared from the scene. The people present were collectively speechless, looking horrified and speechless. Several people's feet softened and they sat down on the ground. Gotakabana Yagura regained control of her body when Obito released Izanaji, cancelling the release of the tailed beast Tama. If the tailed beast Jade explodes in the village, Kirigakure village will suffer heavy losses. Goji Yagura, who transformed into a tailed beast, quickly returned to his original appearance. Looking at the ravine Xiaomu made, he couldn't even say a word. Phew, I finally crushed you bug to death. Natsuki walked away from Susanoo, very tired. When he activated the Amazon Cloud style in the dream space before, his eye power was intact. After he came out, he allocated his power to Fugaku, and he no longer used the Ten Songyun style with all his strength. I didn't expect that the condensing heaven condensation cloud style would be so difficult if the power of the eyes was incomplete, but being able to hack Obito to death once was really cool. There was dead silence. Xiaomu looked up and saw that the people around him were as stunned as wooden sculptures. Natsuki frowned. Shouldn't Mei Terumi step forward and say her lines next? Why are you standing there? Ahem. Xiaomu coughed. Terumi Mei woke up with a start. She came forward, first looked at the ravine with a fearful expression, and then said to Yagura. Mizukage-sama. Because you were controlled by genjutsu, the village suffered huge losses. So I went to Konoha to invite the deputy chief of the Uchiha clan. Lord Natsuki Uchiha came to help and unlock the genjutsu for Lord Mizukage. Goji Yagura was conscious when he was controlled. He knew what he had done, that he had been angry and desperate. As the shadow of a village, the perfect Jinchuriki was actually controlled by others through illusions and became someone else's plaything. The entire Kirigakure was in ruins. This is a shame that he will never be able to wash away in his lifetime, but he doesn't have much expression now. His face is numb and he can see the ravine caused by Xiaomu. What if this blow hits me? Goji Yagura shuddered and seemed to be waking up now. After a long time, Yagura sighed, and then took a deep look at Natsuki. All senior Kirigakure officials, come for a meeting. After speaking, Goji Yagura no longer paid attention to everyone's gazes, nor to the complicated looks of all Kirigakure present. Having made his decision, he took the lead in heading towards the village meeting room. The Kirigakure people dispersed one by one, and everyone quietly looked at Natsuki as they left, with a mixture of awe and fear in their eyes. After Natsuki handed over the stage to them, she silently searched for the location of Inukisaki Kisame, but Kisame Kisaki was lying on the ground, and Samahata the great sword was thrown aside by him. The huge ravine not far away couldn't compare to the hole in his heart. Fake. All fake. Uchiha Madara is also fake. What is the reality of this world? At this time, Natsuki Uchiha's face came into view of Kisame Mikigaki. Hey, do you want to join my influence and hang out with me? You won't have to worry about food and drink. You don't have to kill your companions. There will be no betrayal. Kisame's shark eyes slowly turned around. He sat up. Inkigaki Kisame looked at Natsuki with a playful smile in front of him, and then at the ravine next to him. There is really no way to combine these two things. What are you going to do? Inukisaki Kisame's voice was dry. Me, if I don't have the ability, I'll just do it. If I have the ability, I'll do what I want to do. Xiaomu showed his big white teeth. Kisame opened his mouth to say something, but the image of the girl flashed in his mind. Your life must be very hard. Kisame lay down again. It's too hard, forget it. Xiaomu smiled and said nothing. Brother Gonsher. A gentle voice sounded in his ears. Hallucination. Kisame couldn't believe it at first, but he still followed the sound and turned his head. Kurita Kyoko tilted her head and said to the dried persimmon Kisame, we agreed, let's eat together. Chapter 76 Buys Talent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Land of Water, Ding. Congratulations to the host for greatly changing the life trajectory of Iniki Kakisame. Congratulations to the host for getting Big Explosive Water Wave X1. Ding. Successfully recruited dried persimmon Kisame. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Water Attribute Affinity. Kisame and Kyoko went to have a meal. I don't know what Kyoko said to Kisame, so Kisame decided to follow Natsuki. With the Water Attribute Affinity, Shimu learned Water Escape with twice the result with half the effort, and it was much easier to find water sources. Ninjutsu can only be said to be better than nothing. After all, you can practice it yourself, but it will take some time. But Kyoko Kurita didn't get any reward. I don't know if it's because she didn't leave her name in the story. Natsuki was originally worried about Meitarumi and Yagura and was unwilling to hand over Samahata. As a result, the two of them were extremely easy to talk to, and they respectfully handed over the information Natsuki needed, and Sharakaji gave it to Kisame Inukisaki. Meitarumi also said that she will always be an ally of the Uchiha clan in the future, taking care of each other, etc., and keeping her attitude very low. There is nothing that Terumi Mei and Yagura can do. Kirigakure no longer has any high-end combat power, and Yagura was also controlled by the Sharingan. As the winner, Natsuki naturally has stronger eye power. Even without using Sharingan control, Yagura is still no match for Natsuki. The now broken Kirigakure can no longer make enemies. There was a scandal that the Mizukage was controlled by Genjutsu. After Gotakabana Yagura explained everything, he passed the position of the 5th Mizukage to Terumi Mei. He himself was imprisoned in Kirigakure's prison. Although his crime was worthy of death 100 times, he was still a Jinchuriki. He is an important strategic resource for the village. Before he can find a suitable next Jinchuriki, he will die even if he wants to. The new Mizukage succession will not have any immediate effect on the current Kirigakure village. The long-term rule of the Blood Mist and the destruction of the Blood Successor family have put the entire Kirigakure in chaos. The Kingdom of Water is isolated overseas, and Kirigakure village is located deep in the mountains. It is covered by thick fog all year round and is relatively closed. Therefore, the relationship between daimyo and Kirigakure is closer. Kirigakure's chaos not only brought about the decline of a ninja village, but also caused a huge chain reaction. Even the national power of the Kingdom of Water has declined a lot. If their country was not too far away from the mainland, it would be difficult to guarantee that other major powers would not have any thoughts. Natsuki got the information he wanted and left Kirigakure village. Embark on a journey to find someone. The island of Water Country is not small, but it still has a special topography with many peaks. The large and small islands surrounding the main island also have various customs and habits. There are also many islanders who live according to customs, and the weather everywhere seems to be the same throughout the year. Being far away from the mainland and separated by the ocean is also the reason why the Kingdom of Water rarely intervened in the previous Shinobi Wars, but in just a few years, the entire Kingdom of Water was turned into a mess by Obito. Along the way, the civilians were all sallow and skinny, and there were many ninjas who were doing robberies and unknown origins. There are also those who regard Natsuki as a fat sheep. Xiaomu has killed several batches along the way, but people still keep coming to cause trouble. If he wasn't looking for someone, Xiaomu wouldn't want to stay in these remote villages. Later, Natsuki simply asked Kisame to wear Kirigakure's forehead protector, and the harassment was reduced a lot. The weather is getting colder and snowflakes are falling in the sky. Huddled next to the garbage pile with blank eyes, he stretched out his hand and caught a snowflake, which quickly melted in his hand. At this time, there was a cart nearby, pushing a lot of garbage and dumping it here. Bai immediately got up and rummaged through the trash for something to eat. Evil. Woof. Woof. A dog barked at Bai. Bai coldly kicked the dog away, and the dog whimpered and fell to the ground. At this time, two small dogs ran out from the corner next to them. They rushed out to guard the big dog and grinned at White. Bai lowered his eyes, with incomprehensible emotions in his eyes. He didn't pay attention to them, didn't rummage through the trash, and turned around to leave. Even dogs are needed. As for me, finally found you. There was a voice next to his ear, and then a loose robe was draped on Bai's body. A warm feeling came, and Bai turned around with some shyness, but he saw two men and one woman standing behind him, and the man in front was looking at him with a smile. The man in the back is not good looking, with blue skin, a fierce face, and a giant weapon on his back. Who are you? Are you looking for the wrong person? 10-year-old Bai is very thin, not tall, and has a delicate little face that is dirty. His hair is black, his eyes are a little hollow, and there is a chain around his neck that looks like a dog. Choke. A clear voice came out. Xiaomu took the knife back, and the chain around Bai's neck shattered. It's you I'm looking for. I need a companion like you. Can you come and help me? Bai stared blankly at the dog chain that fell from his neck. It was the dog chain that he had been caught around his neck before. Do you need me? Bai's eyes flashed with some kind of fluctuation. Xiaomu touched Bai's head. Yes, I need you. Bai felt as if a beam of light was shining in his sky. He showed a gentle smile. My name is Bai. Natsuki took out a bun from his body. Eat something first, and I'll take you to wash up. My name is Uchiha Natsuki. Bai obediently took the bun that was not too hot and took a bite obediently. After chewing it carefully for several times, I swallowed it into my stomach. A warm current slowly rose from my stomach. Kurita Kyoko knelt down, took out a kettle and handed it to Shiro. Eat slowly and be careful not to choke. Kurita Kyoko's dialogue has seen so many street children like this that she has become numb. I just don't know why Xiaomu treats this Bai differently. The news Xiaomu received only said that an ice escape rampage had occurred in a nearby village before, but the specific location was not clear. In addition, Shiro can move, so Natsuki also searched several village markets before finding Shiro. I just drank some water and ate a handful of steamed buns. Xiaomu took out another one. Eat another one if you're still hungry. Bai shook his head. If you've been hungry for too long and eaten too much, you'll vomit it out. Natsuki sighed and tied Shiro's robe tighter. Is it still cold? Bai shook his head again. I'm not afraid of the cold. Natsuki took the towel from Kurita Kyoko's hand and gently wiped Shiro's face twice. Bai shyly dodged twice, but Xiaomu wiped off all the dirt on his face. A delicate little face appeared under the dirty hair. Wow! Xiaomu made a sound of admiration, then he looked at Shiro, and then at Kurita Kyoko. Well, they are all very beautiful. But... Bai, are you a boy or a girl? Bai grew up in a hungry environment for a long time. He is now 11 or 12 years old, but he looks like a 7 or 8-year-old child. There are no male or female characteristics in appearance. Bai smiled very gently. I am a boy. Natsuki sighed inwardly. Kishimoto, you really understand Naruto. Natsuki was prepared, but Kurita Kyoko was surprised. She always thought Shiro was a girl. Ding. Congratulations to the host for greatly changing Bai's life trajectory. Congratulations to the host for getting Magic Mirror Ice Crystal X1. Ding. The recruitment was successful. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Natural Affinity. Xiaomu was a little confused. To recruit Bai, shouldn't he be able to obtain Water Escape or Ice Escape? If you are friendly to nature, Bai's character is also suitable for practicing immortal arts. Kisame Inokaki stood behind him like a bodyguard, moved his eyes, and returned to his dead fish eyes. Divine space. There was a fusion of reality, and Obito appeared on the ground. Obito's open right eye revealed a huge amount of fear. How can it be? Even the space was cut open. The divine power has failed. How can it be? After a long time, Obito took off the mask and put it aside, but his hand was light. Obito turned his head and found a huge ravine lying next to it. Countless stone platforms were swallowed up, and the cuts were as smooth as mirrors. It's not that the divine power has failed, it's that the divine power space has also been swallowed up. Uchiha Natsuki, how come your ice skills are so strong? Obito was afraid, if he had used Izanagi in the end, he would have died. Lin, are you helping me? There may be many ways to die, but death by Xiaomu's knife is painless. In an instant everything turned into nothingness. Obito can only recall the horror of that time after he is resurrected. If it weren't for the Sharingan in his left eye that had turned gray, Obito wouldn't have believed it. Even the nearly invincible divine power will be ineffective one day. It took Obito a long time to calm down. Review this battle carefully. Natsuki's Susanoo is very powerful, with strong eye power and very long-lasting power. One of Natsuki's pupil techniques should reduce Susanoo's consumption. The other one is to strengthen Susanoo's weapons. Madara took away many classics from Uchiha, and Obito has read them all over the years, but he searched his mind and couldn't find what this kind of pupil technique was. But it doesn't matter, as long as Shimu is not given the opportunity to strengthen his weapons, then his divine power will be invincible. Natsuki's Sharingan is too threatening. He must be eliminated. The situation in Kirigakure village is becoming more and more complicated, and the fighting between factions is becoming more and more obvious. Although Mei Terumi took over as the 5th Mizukage, there were many people who were dissatisfied with him. There are also many Kirigakure who have lost confidence in Mizukage because of the problem with Goju Yagura. There were also many people who targeted Gotachi Yagura, and many people requested that Gotachi Yagura be executed. Zabuza took advantage of Goju Yagura to assassinate him while he was in prison, but failed. If Goju Yagura hadn't wanted to get out of prison, Zabuza might have died. After finding Shiro, Natsuki rushed directly to the Kagaya clan. Kisame's strength starts with Jonin. Kurita Kyoko is a member of Kirigakure's code department. The two can naturally keep up, but Shiro's body is not very healthy. He has not been trained, so his speed is not very fast. Natsuki was worried that Kimimaro had gone somewhere else, so he had to pick up Shiro and hurry up. Although Bai is no longer young, his body is very thin. Xiaomu feels like he is holding a porcelain doll every time. Although Bai's face turned red from shyness every time, in order not to delay Xiaomu's affairs, he had no choice but to let Xiaomu carry him on his way. Fortunately, there are Inokasaki Kisame and Kurita Kyoko, both of whom are locals, otherwise Natsuki wouldn't even know where the Kagaya clan is. It was already midnight when the Kagaya clan's land was vividly visible, and the Kagaya clan's land was ablaze with flames reaching into the sky. Oh, are you too late? Xiaomu touched his chin. He couldn't remember where Kimimaro was, whether he was locked up in the dungeon or whether he had broken out of the siege. I just have to look for it. Chapter 77 Kimimaro. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the Kingdom of Water, outside the Kaguya clan, in the woods, the white-haired child was leaning against the tree, his green eyes were calm, and his eyelids were lined with red eyeshadow. I'm alone again. He has been locked up in a cage alone since he was born, and the reason for getting out of the cage is just to fight. After the battle, Kimimaro only felt a sense of emptiness. He didn't know what the meaning of his life was. Kimimaro walked aimlessly by the lake, thinking about the meaning of life. At the lakeside, Kimimaro suddenly realized that he seemed to have been here before. At that time, he found a flower blooming in the overgrown swamp. Kimimaro took 2 steps in that direction. Sure enough, the flowers are still blooming in this lonely and deserted place. The flowers are white and soft, with some dewdrops on them. The breeze blows, and the flowers sway gently. Kimimaro looked at the white flowers for a long time. Why do they bloom here? Suddenly, he became angry. Why don't you answer me? You are also ignoring me. In a place like this, no one can see it. He held the bone blade in his hand and wanted to destroy the flower as if he were destroying himself. Stop doing this. At this time a voice came from behind. Kimimaro suddenly looked back and found someone standing behind him at some point. Living may not necessarily be meaningful, but it is possible to find something meaningful if you continue to live. Natsuki paused. Just like you found the flower, I found you. Natsuki slowly walked to Kimimaro and touched Kimimaro's face. Kimimaro's face turned red at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. Orochimaru is indeed a spiritual mentor. Plagiarizing your words is much faster than using his own words. Follow me. Figures flashed in the forest. Kurita Kyoko hugged Shiro and came down, followed by Kisame Kisaki. Natsuki waved his hand to Kimimaro not to be nervous. It's a companion. My name is Uchiha Natsuki, this is Kurita Kyoko, this is dried persimmon Kisame, and this is Haku. Natsuki introduced. Then asked. May I have your name? Kimimaro. Xiaomu smiled. From now on, we will be companions. Kimimaro nodded, but his eyes moved to Shiro. Although Shiro had already changed his clothes and freshened up, Kimimaro could still see that Shiro was thin. There is also Bai's eyes, which are shining. The dried persimmon Kisame behind him had a pair of shark eyes that seemed to be glaring at people at any time. Ding. Congratulations to the host for greatly changing Kimimaro's life trajectory. Congratulations to the host for getting Dance of Early Fern X1. Ding. Successfully recruited Kimimaro. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Combat Intuition. Hiss. Natsuki was shocked. This was a talent that taijutsu ninjas dreamed of. As a taijutsu ninja, all attacks are at close range, so every minute and every second is very dangerous. Some special secret techniques are even activated very quickly. If you don't have time to react, you will die on the spot. Therefore, there are very few pure taijutsu ninjas among ninjas, and Kai's kind is an outlier among the special. After all, Keiko doesn't have Kimimaro's invulnerable periosteum, and he will die if he makes a mistake in close combat. With this talent, Xiaomu narrowed his eyes slightly, wondering whether that idea could succeed. Natsuki didn't expect that Kimimaro would become familiar with Shiro so quickly. Probably Kimimaro and Shiro were once equally lonely. Kimimaro has been locked in the dungeon, and he doesn't know how old he is. You can't tell how big Kimimaro is from his bones, but since he was 15 when he died in his previous life, and Haku was also 15 when he died, Natsuki speculated that Kimimaro and Haku were about the same age. However, Kimimaro is half a head taller than Shiro, and his body is healthier than Shiro's. There is food to eat in prison, but Bai is wandering. Natsuki tested Kimimaro. The blood inheritance limit of the corpse bone vein was simply born for fighting. Although Kimimaro has not received any systematic education, his attack methods are unstructured, but because of this, you have no way of knowing where he will attack. After all the bones in Kimimaro's body can be extracted. Regarding the development of the blood succession limit, Kimimaro can only pull out bones to fight. But the various dances of the corpse veins have already been memorized in my mind. Natsuki was very curious as to who taught him Kimimaro's various dances. You know, although the Kagaya clan fights with bones, corpse bone veins like Kimimaro's, there was only Kimimaro, and it was impossible for the clan to give him the secret technique of Hayabari no dance when he was a child. Kimimaro's answer surprised Natsuki, because Kimimaro said that those dances automatically appeared in his mind. It wasn't who taught him. Natsuki also confirmed again that the Kagaya clan is also a lineage of Princess Kagaya. Kimimaro is one of the children who has experienced atavism. This atavism is definitely not the first time, otherwise there would be no such thing as corpse bone veins. Kimimaro's return to his ancestors, from his bones and veins to his appearance and fair skin, are all very close to that of Kagaya. Today's Kagaya clan all have crooked melons and cracked dates. And Kimimaro's cold and aloof appearance is completely an anomaly. After Kagaya ate the chakra fruit, her personality has transformed into a godhead. To know how God looks at people, it should be the same as how people look at animals. That's why you think the other person is cold and arrogant. When Kimimaro grew up, he completely reverted to this temperament. If we talk about Uchiha and Hinata's eyes, they are representative of Sage's eyes. The chakra of the Whirlpool clan is the representative of the immortal body. Kimimaro's corpse bone veins are the representative of immortal marrow. It is a pity that all future generations will not be able to bear such a bloodline. Basically, those who return to their ancestors will not be able to bear this kind of genetic mutation. Uchiha and Byakugan have a particularly stable inheritance, but it is precisely because of this stability, Uchiha needs to break the shackles of bloodline step by step and return to his ancestors, but in the Kaleidoscope period, Uchiha was unable to control it, causing this special power to have side effects. The same goes for other bloodlines. The more powerful the bloodline is, the more risks it will bear. The Byakugan doesn't take the risk because they don't evolve. If there is a way to evolve the Byakugan into the reincarnate eye, there will be corresponding risks. Hashirama's recovery ability is so strong, but his death has always been a mystery. Natsuki speculated that Hashirama's cells were dividing too much and too fast, and his body's energy and cell energy were exhausted and he died. Kimimaro now has the same purpose, and Natsuki is ready to send Kimimaro to Orochimaru as soon as possible. Orochimaru has been studying for 2 years and has achieved certain results. There should be a way for Kimimaro to receive the immortal marrow. As long as Kimimaro can withstand the genetic mutation, Kagaya's final joint killing of ashes will be the end of the corpse vein. In the previous life, Orochimaru's research on senjutsu was limited to the curse seal on Yugo. Those are all degraded magic, so they have serious corrosion and side effects on the body. Natsuki wanted to train all those who could practice celestial arts in celestial beings until Otsutsuki arrived first. Let's use Xian Shumang first and then talk about other things. Chapter 78 Secretly Assassinating Chen Sung. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Konoha Village. Classes at Konoha Ninja School are over. The ANBU directly under the Hokage still monitor Naruto every day, and Naruto has never done anything unusual. It's just that now that Naruto and Sasuke's relationship is getting closer, and Sasuke is sent home every day, Naruto will go back. It was the same today. Naruto and Sasuke were talking and laughing all the way, and then Naruto followed Sasuke into the Uchiha clan. The ANBU could only stay outside in a daze, because the third Hokage ordered not to enter the Uchiha clan. Fortunately, Naruto didn't stop every time. After sending Sasuke in, he came out in just a few minutes. After Naruto returned home, he did his homework conscientiously and did some training, which made the ANBU very worry-free, but what they didn't know was, Uchiha clan. What? Hey! More than 10 Narutos were holding balloons and exerting their strength. The balloons were filled with water, and then the water balloons turned into various shapes. Sasuke was running quickly across the pond in the courtyard. After reaching the opposite side, stop suddenly and then sprint back and forth. After such explosive training, within a few times, Sasuke collapsed on the ground from exhaustion. Seeing Naruto's doppelgangers not far away, still competing with water polo, Sasuke couldn't help but have a hint of envy in his eyes, but he quickly turned his head and looked towards the water. In the water, a magatama was slowly rotating in Sasuke's eyes. Sasuke smiled, then stopped. After taking a short rest, I immediately got up and started training again. Fugaku stood high and crossed his arms, watching the training of the two. Natsuki is really smart. Not only is Sasuke so talented, but Naruto has also grown up quickly under the guidance of his aptitude. Sasuke is only 9 years old and has already opened the Sharingan, which is comparable to Itachi. Itachi was in wartime, but Sasuke was in peacetime. Of course, Fugaku did not think that Sasuke was more talented than Itachi, but attributed all the credit to Natsuki. If Natsuki hadn't told Fugaku about the various properties of the Sharingan and how Sasuke should stimulate it, Sasuke wouldn't have opened his eyes at such a young age. Before Natsuki left, he had given Fugaku the relevant training plans for Sasuke and Naruto, and asked Fugaku to supervise the training of the two little ones. Considering the third-generation surveillance of Naruto and Naruto's own characteristics, Natsuki specifically asked Fugaku to teach Naruto the art of shadow clone, let Naruto finish school with Sasuke every day, and then come to the Uchiha clan to stay with his clone to train. While the main body goes home, Sasuke didn't believe at first that Naruto could learn this B-level ninjutsu, but the result surprised Sasuke. He didn't understand why Naruto was so far behind him in all aspects, but only the shadow clone technique. Naruto could learn it instantly, and dozens of shadow clones can be separated at will. The disappearance of the shadow clones will have no side effects on Naruto. At most, it will make Naruto a little tired. Seeing Naruto's rapid growth after becoming a shadow clone, Sasuke actually felt a little envious. He also begged Fugaku to teach him the art of shadow clone. Fuyu sternly refused, and told Sasuke that no one else could do it except Naruto. Very dangerous. Little Sasuke was arrogant and didn't believe it. Seeing how easy it was for Naruto to learn, he insisted on begging Fugaku to teach him. In the end, Uchiha Mikoto couldn't stand it anymore, and secretly gave Sasuke the scroll of the shadow clone. Sasuke was so confident that it took him a whole week to learn it. Finally, Sasuke ran out of chakra and created a shadow clone. Although the amount was small, Sasuke was a little disappointed. But his training efficiency doubled, which made Sasuke excited. That day, I and my avatar completed the training tasks in full and even trained some more. Fugaku just held his hands beside him and said nothing, but after the shadow clone disappeared, Sasuke fell into a coma. I spent 2 full days at home before recovering. After waking up, Sasuke felt that his brain was buzzing and he didn't recover for a long time. Only then did Sasuke realize that everyone has something they are good at, and he shouldn't try to be strong if he doesn't understand it. Sasuke remembered what Mr. Natsuki told him about the issue of control. Realizing that he was really too arrogant, he went to apologize to Fugaku with some embarrassment. Fugaku said to Sasuke in a funny tone, "Natsume was right. If you have some ability or have learned something, you will definitely become arrogant. The reason why your mother gave you the shadow clone scroll was to see if you knew anything about yourself. You really don't know how high the sky is, and you insist on comparing yourself with others when you see them. Have I ever said that Naruto has a special physique and only he can learn shadow clones now? What about you, why don't you obey?" Natsuki said that if you see what Naruto can do, you will definitely want to learn it as soon as possible. Regardless of whether it is suitable or not, he really expected it. Sasuke was embarrassed and stammered, "Did Natsuki-sensei even expect this? Your teacher is such a smart person. When he made your training plan, he already knew your reaction. You don't remember to fight or eat, so you won't listen to me. You will never be obedient if you don't suffer a loss. No, now you know that the shadow clone technique is not suitable for you, right?" Sasuke's face turned red with anger and he could only lower his head, not daring to say anything. Originally, Fugaku was about to stop when he said this, but he thought of Natsuki's analysis of Sasuke's character traits. He insisted on comparing Naruto to Sasuke repeatedly. "I'm better than Naruto in the cultural class. Is that a reason to be proud? You have received an elite education since you were young. Naruto didn't have a teacher to teach him. You should have a better foundation than him, and this is not something you should be proud of. Naruto takes care of all the food, clothing, housing and transportation by himself. You don't have to cook, your clothes are washed. You spend a lot of time practicing ninjutsu and shuriken throwing every day. You are better than others, isn't that right? Naruto has wind attributes. He can escape with wind. Can you? You have to compete." Fugaku transformed into the most vicious father and reduced Sasuke to nothing. In the end, Sasuke cried and said that he was wrong. When he looked up, Fugaku found that Sasuke had quietly opened the Sharingan. before he could be happy, Sasuke fainted. After waking up, Sasuke learned that although he was happy that he had opened his Sharingan, he was not as arrogant as before. After that, Fugaku followed the training plan formulated by Natsuki, and Sasuke followed it seriously. The various explosive training Sasuke is doing now are all paving the way for teaching him Chidori later. The most suitable one for Sasuke's thunder attribute is undoubtedly the Chidori. Natsuki hopes that Sasuke can learn the Chidori as soon as possible so that Sasuke can start early on the road to developing Thunder Escape. Of course there are Chidori in the Uchiha family, and this was given to the Uchiha family by Kakashi himself. Back then, Konoha spent a lot of resources on Obito's Sharingan. As for Chidori, Kakashi voluntarily handed it over to the Uchiha clan. Lord Patriarch. Uchiha Chiming brought new information. Master Hisashi's position was replaced by the Hyuga clan. This is a letter sent by Hisashi-sama. Fugaku opened the letter and saw that it was an apology letter from Hisashi. The third generation made a deal with the clan elders to replace him, so Fugaku should be careful. Fugaku frowned. Is the third generation about to take action? Then another Uchiha came in to report. Lord Fugaku, all our security team members on 8th Street have been replaced. Chapter 79 Stress Response. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Konoha 8th Streets. As soon as all Uchiha shops opened today, they found that the patrolling police team had been replaced by strangers from the Uchiha tribe. Everyone had cold faces, not as kind as Uchiha. The well-informed store owner has already found out that these are former members of the Root Gang, who used to patrol the 1st to 4th Streets. We Uchiha are doing well, why did they leave? Various bosses complained, and some went to the police to report it. However, they found that Hyuga Hisashi in the guard team was missing, replaced by an older Hyuga clan member. He didn't know much about the security forces, and seemed unwilling to say much to civilians. He just said arrogantly, "This is a normal transfer of the security forces." Then he didn't say much more, waved his hand and drove people out. After the boss was kicked out, he just felt angry. How could this Hinata be so arrogant? When walking back, I met Hyuga Yuto on the road. When Hyuga Yuto captured Jiraiya last time, he had a sense of presence, and many people in the village knew him. The boss caught Hyuga and complained, "Why isn't Hisashi-sama in the police complaint room? You don't know how bad the attitude of the old man in the complaint room is. He didn't even raise his eyes to look at me." Hyuga Yuto quickly covered his mouth. "Keep your voice down, that's a member of the clan." The boss lowered his voice. "Why do you, the Hyuga clan, come out as a guard?" Hyuga Yuto looked around and said, "This is not something that I, a member of the branch family, can take care of. Master Hisashi has returned to his clan. Now the guards are all in charge of the clan." The boss complained, "Then when will you replace the Uchiha guards? You don't know, those people with cold faces and sarcastic remarks don't look like good people." Hyuga Yuto spread his hands and said, "I can't do anything, but Hisashi-sama is not here, so I can't do anything." The boss had no choice but to leave angrily. On Konoha 8th Street, many business owners came back and opened their shops as usual after going to the police and getting frustrated. Gen's security team also started patrolling normally, and at first Uchiha's shop felt fine. After a long time, they felt something was wrong. These root guards were wandering around in front of Uchiha's shop. As a result, some customers give up entering the store because they don't want to deal with these root members. The Uchiha shopkeepers all negotiated with them, saying that there was no need for so many people to patrol and guard here, but the other party ignored them at all. But the Uchiha shop owner had taken excessive actions and would be arrested soon. Danzo stood in the shadow of the street corner, smiling coldly. He used to look down on this kind of small business. Later, his investigators told him about Uchiha's income from these meals. He really paid attention to these shops. If these stores were owned by oneself, there would be no shortage of funds for research. It will no longer be controlled by the third generation. If he doesn't ask the third generation for money, the third generation will naturally have no control over him. Even if the third generation does not agree with the root reconstruction, it is just that a name is missing. Therefore, he must win all the small shops in Uchiha. Today is just a test. Of course there are other ways later. It's a long time. Take your time. But he didn't know that Uchiha had already planned for this. After Fugaku received the news from Hisashi, he also received news from the security team, and then from the owners of civilian shops in Uchiha. News reached Fugaku from various channels. Within a few hours, Fugaku had fully reacted. In all the Uchiha shops, an Uchiha clan member came in. This tribesman made a few agreed-upon gestures to the shop owner and then hurriedly left the shop. Immediately afterwards, the root members who were still poking their heads discovered that in these stores, either there was a problem with the stoves or the water pipes burst. The stove is broken, the pot is broken, and the raw materials are contaminated. The bosses were very apologetic and apologized to the villagers who were still waiting in line. Dear customers, we are very sorry. Our tableware equipment was damaged today and we can no longer continue to serve meals. We can only close the store today. The customers were disappointed. Why is this happening? I've been waiting in line for an hour just to eat your spicy crayfish. That's right. I came here to queue up early in the morning. If any equipment is broken, I can fix it. You must not close the store. The store owner said very apologetically, all customers who are still in line can get a 3-pound coupon for spicy crayfish. Customers can come back another day. There are a lot of coupons for 3 kilograms, worth at least several hundred taels. Although many customers complained, they still accepted the coupons and left the store one after another. The villager who said he wanted to help the shop owner repair the equipment was pulled aside by the shop owner. This customer, our equipment is not broken, and we have no choice but to close the store. The customer looked stunned. You don't even do business. That the shopkeeper just raised his chin and motioned the customer to look outside. The customer spotted several members of the route, milling around not far away. The shopkeeper gave you a knowing look. The customer seemed a little confused, but still accepted the coupon from the store owner. Left, then all Uchiha shops were closed under Gen's supervision. The villagers who had not eaten delicious food glanced at these root members with vague eyes. The root members saw it but didn't take it seriously. He just reported all this series of things to Danzo. Danzo waved his hand calmly. It's okay. Since they are in this business, they will open a store one day. There is no rush. Then, a long tug-of-war ensued between Uchiha store owners and the roots. Danzo initially thought that Uchiha would reopen after closing for a day or two at most, but he didn't expect it. The shop that earns a lot of money every day will last 7 days. In 7 days, countless customers walked to the door and left disappointed. This is all money. Danzo couldn't sit still, and the elder of the Hyuga clan couldn't sit still anymore. At first, he used his power to let Hisashi, the branch of the family, go back to rest while he took over the job. It's because Danzo came to the door and said that he had the position of an honorary elder in his hand that could be traded, and Hinata needed to show his expression. As a result, when he came, it was just a simple shift change, and all Uchiha catering shops were closed. Now not only can't you get things, but you may also have other troubles. You know, these restaurants have driven a lot of consumption on the street in recent years. Even the Hokage praised the bustling 8th Street. Now that all restaurants are closed, the flow of people on 8th Street has dropped visibly. Before the Uchiha family said anything, one after another complaints from other non-Uchiha bosses on the 8th Street came to the Hokage. There was no way. After Hinata's clan elder came, he started to stir up trouble. Everyone started going to him to report the situation. But it turned out that the people who got angry were not noses or eyes. Later, everyone bypassed the security team and complained directly to the Hokage. Chapter 80 already had a plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My village. Although the Uchiha people didn't say anything, but when the bosses closed the shop, they all winked at the customers and then gestured to the roots next to them. The reputation of the roots has long been bad, and everyone automatically made up for it. Are these members of the root guard taking revenge on the Uchiha? Make it impossible for Uchiha to do business? The villagers say that he has a nose and eyes, and it seems that these roots are meant to bring down the Uchiha. As a result, Hinata Hisashi was invited to the Hokage building. The third generation smoked a cigarette and said to Hizu angrily, I don't care what deal your Hyuga clan has with Danzo. In short, Uchiha's shop must be reopened within 3 days. At the beginning, Riza did not agree with the elder of the Zong family interfering with the security team. Now Hizu has no good impression of the Hokage line at all. Last time, Kimogakure's incident actually sold the Hyuga family directly. but the eldest elder of the clan is a stubborn man and stubbornly believes that there is no benefit in going against the Hokage. Besides, Danzo promised to give the Hyuga family the position of honorary elder when the matter was completed, and besides, it was just a transfer of personnel. Unexpectedly, Uchiha seemed to have a plan. As soon as the members of the root organization passed by, the bosses immediately closed the shop and stopped doing business. Now that Rizu had the support of the third Hokage, he quickly went down to consult with the elders. The third Hokage breathed a sigh of relief. Although he delegated some rights to Danzo, he did not make it public. No one knew that he had tacitly approved of what Danzo and the Hyuga clan were doing. Now that Uchiha is overreacting, he can only think about it in the long term. Hyuga Hisatsu quickly conveyed the instructions of the third generation, but the elder of the clan was still thinking about the position of the honorary elder, so he couldn't just ignore it. So I had no choice but to call Hisashi back to work, and he himself stayed in the garrison, euphemistically called an assistant, every time at this time. Hisashi hates these guys who eat nothing but corpses. However, those who split up the family could not offend the sect family members. Hisashi could only swallow his anger in response to the great elder's instructions. Later, the route security team was transferred to other streets, and all the Uchiha shops on 8th Street were opened at the same time. Oh ho! Chuan chuan xiang. Stinky tofu, my favorite hot and sour noodles. Pita bread and mutton soup. On this day, the villagers were excited again. Their stomachs had long been conquered by Chinese delicacies. As soon as these Uchiha shops were closed, I lost my appetite and felt depressed for a week. Many people lost weight due to hunger. Now that the store has reopened, a large number of people are pouring into the store and placing orders frantically. All the Uchiha clan members were almost paralyzed from exhaustion. Just finished business for this day. I also saw the delicious villagers eating in and out of the wall one by one. I am just afraid that these stores will not be open the next day. Fortunately, this terrible scene did not happen, and all Uchiha shops were opened one by one the next day. It also made many villagers feel relieved. As a result, on the 4th day, all the stores were closed again. Those diners met the Uchiha boss in private, and the boss explained with a wry smile. Of course the people who came here to patrol here in the past few days were from our Uchiha, or from the Hyuga clan. But today it is a security department composed of root members, so how can we dare to open a store? Those roots. Then the boss deliberately kept silent. When the root security team is rotated out, our store will be able to reopen. Thank you everyone. The boss of the Uchiha clan pushed through the crowd and left. There were many people talking, and soon Danzo received the news. He smashed the teacup in his hand. How could the Uchiha clan be so defensive? He was still thinking about how the roots started patrolling that street. If you find an opportunity to add some ingredients to their food and cause some accidents, you can seal their shop on the grounds of safety and take them back for interrogation. When people come to his territory, it is not up to him to decide what to do with them. Not to mention the secret recipe, even if it is his private money, he has to spit it out wherever he puts it. As a result, Uchiha didn't give him any chance at all. As long as the root members went over to patrol, all Uchiha shops were closed collectively. If you don't do business, you would rather close your shop and lose money than not open a shop at all. We are not afraid of irritating customers at all. And some customers were indeed angry at first, but the Uchiha clan had already prepared various coupons. Free food, given out for free, let the customers feel that the Uchiha clan was also helpless. Later, all the customers developed a tacit understanding, and the police patrol list spread out somewhere. As long as it's a day when the root members are patrolling, customers won't go because they won't get anything to eat. So as long as the route patrol is carried out, not even a ghost can be seen on the whole street. As if the shops have closed down, let alone looking for a chance to get the secret recipe. Finding an Uchiha is considered a skill. 1 Buddha was born and 2 Buddhas ascended to heaven. He closes the shop like this every day, and the boss doesn't complain. Danzo was very puzzled. A shop like this, which was making a lot of money every day, was not going to be shut down at the drop of a hat. Every time a store is closed, a whole day of customer flow is lost, and every time a customer goes there, the store is closed. Over time, I no longer want to go to your place to eat. If you prepare too much ingredients, if you leave it for a day, the ingredients may go bad. The loss of food ingredients is not a small amount either. Danzo had no idea that Natsuki had already expected This to happen, we had a plan with Fugaku from the beginning. As long as it is any temptation related to Danzo's roots, Uchiha must respond immediately, otherwise, if you boil a frog in warm water, the frog will not be able to jump out in the end. The customer didn't get anything to eat. It doesn't matter, as long as you come here for free, you will get coupons for everything, and this kind of coupon is not the kind of discount of 300 on Lamborghini. Instead, they just give it away without any bottom line, as much food as an ordinary person can eat in one meal. If you buy too many ingredients, it doesn't matter. We will bring them all back to the clan and distribute them to each family, free of charge. The clan reimburses all the restaurant owner's expenses. Every time the restaurant is closed for one day, money will be directly paid to the store owner based on the average daily turnover of the month. There is no way. He is so arrogant if he has money. Do the bosses have any complaints? Yes, I wish your roots could be stationed on their street every day. They don't even need to open a store. The clan will pay them directly. Wouldn't it be nice to receive money without working? However, most Uchiha people are very grateful to the clan because the clan provides them with protection. After all, these shops were originally used by Deputy Clan Xiaomu to support everyone. Now everyone is doing business and making money has doubled than before. Regarding the various difficulties that may be encountered, Sir Natsuki also explained it to everyone at the beginning. The most important point is that everyone must protect Uchiha's reputation. If the reputation is good, the villagers will naturally remember it. All losses during this period will be borne by the clan. This is why Chinese food has a unique taste, and people who have eaten it will never stop going just because it has closed the store once or twice. Most people vented all their resentment for not having delicious food on the root members. Ordinary villagers did no real harm to them. At most, they just gave them bad looks. If it is a ninja with some ability or means, it will be different. There have been many times when members of Gen had various accidents and were knocked away while walking on the road. There are bound to be worms in fruits when you eat them, and it happens that they fall off when you go to the toilet. They all knew someone was up to something, but they had no proof. There are not many other villages in Konoha village. There are many people, and there are all kinds of hidden secret techniques. If you want to embarrass you, it is very simple. Therefore, these root members can only patrol when they are at work and disappear as soon as possible after get off work. Otherwise, I don't know how I died.